Aloha and greetings. This is Master Sio coming to you from the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living in Pasadena, California. Thank you so much for joining us here for our meditation. Today we will be addressing several important areas of our lives, such as stress, sleep, attracting abundance, which includes money, good health, and how to keep or attract your soulmate. Simply relax. You may lie down or just sit in a comfortable position and be aware of your breath as you breathe in deeply and out deeply also, both in breath and out breath through your nose. You may keep your eyes open or closed and simply listen to the sound of my voice. This will arouse some very high frequencies in your awareness so that you can absorb the messages much more fully and automatically enact them without any conscious effort on your part. So let us begin. Here are some areas of your life that we are going to be addressing in this meditation. How to have much less stress in your life. Anxiety is just a state of mind, and it is not that dangerous in its original form. It just makes me, for example, uncomfortable. If it remains in my head, it then becomes not healthy. It means that I will continue to feel negative, which is not good for me. There are times when I feel a lot of anxiety, but so what? I know what anxiety feels like, and I also know that I can get through it through acknowledging it and just allowing it to pass. Instead, I am focusing on the things which I love because they will help me to get through the temporary times of anxiety. And for sure, I will be just fine. Relaxation is my natural state of being. And at this moment, I am feeling very relaxed and fresh. I am able to sleep very deeply and achieve the greatest benefits from deep, deep rest and uninterrupted sleep. I realize that I do my best every single day, and the rest of my day I just let it go. I know that in general my life is fine. I'm supported by the universe, by some friends, or even without friends, because I allow myself to not get stressed out over the things that I cannot stop from happening. I can feel deep inside me a state of easiness, that everything positive is mine and comes to me with ease. My focus in life is in what is possible, and I accept the few things that I can't change. At this moment, I am completely free to accept only positive things in my life, such as deep, restful sleep. I know that I am free to be accepting of whatever comes up in my life by focusing only in the present moment. All emotional negativity is automatically rejected and released from my life. It is good to attract money and other forms of positive abundance into my life, because I know that I am an abundance magnet, including the attracting of money. And I accept that abundance, including money, flows freely to me. I have complete acceptance and zero resistance to attracting money. Money comes to me in amounts that I can use in my life, and even with some left over to share with others. Good fortune naturally is attracted to me, and this will allow me to become financially free. I have, much to my delight, more income than expenses. This allows me to enjoy a life of happiness, of being able to take care of myself and to share my abundance with others. I enjoy good health. Happiness, a feeling of being radiant, are always mine because I am healthy. I love and appreciate and am grateful for my body. It's a great feeling to be fit and strong, so I enjoy appropriate exercise and looking after myself physically every single day. With each passing day, I become more and more healthy, and I radiate good health in everything that I do. I am always in a state of peace and calm, and I pay attention that I eat only foods that are healthy for me, that are in their natural state, and I'm also motivated to avoid foods that are artificially made or added to. In other words, I avoid processed foods as much as possible. Because I do these things, my sleep is always relaxed and refreshing. I always attract and keep my ideal soulmate. I'm extremely happy and grateful to have a loving relationship with my soulmate, or a future soulmate if I still need one. I understand that my heart is always open to offering and to receiving love, reciprocal and deep love. That is the state that I am worthy of, a deep, soulful, soulmate love. My heart is always open to a long-term and abundantly positive relationship. I place my trust in the universe to guide me in a positive direction with my relationship. And above all, I love myself completely and am therefore able to share the love in its purest form with all my loved ones and out to the entire world. Anxiety is just a state of mind, and it is not that dangerous in its original form. It just makes me, for example, uncomfortable. If it remains in my head, it then becomes not healthy. It means that I will continue to feel negative, which is not good for me. There are times when I feel a lot of anxiety, but so what? I know what anxiety feels like, and I also know that I can get through it through acknowledging it and just allowing it to pass. Instead, I am focusing on the things which I love because they will help me to get through the temporary times of anxiety. And for sure, I will be just fine. Relaxation is my natural state of being. And at this moment, I am feeling very relaxed and fresh. I am able to sleep very deeply and achieve the greatest benefits from deep, deep rest and uninterrupted sleep. I realize that I do my best every single day, and the rest of my day I just let it go. I I know that in general my life is fine. I'm supported by the universe, by some friends, or even without friends, because I allow myself to not get stressed out over the things that I cannot stop from happening. I can feel deep inside me a state of easiness, that everything positive is mine and comes to me with ease. My focus in life is in what is possible, and I accept the few things that I can't change. At this moment, I am completely free to accept only positive things in my life, such as deep, restful sleep. I know that I am free to be accepting of whatever comes up in my life by focusing only in the present moment. All emotional negativity is automatically rejected and released from my life. It is good to attract money and other forms of positive abundance into my life, because I know that I am an abundance magnet, including the attracting of money. And I accept that abundance, including money, flows freely to me. I have complete acceptance and zero resistance to attracting money. Money comes to me in amounts that I can use in my life, and even with some left over to share with others. Now, very gently and slowly now, open your eyes and notice just how much brighter everything seems to be, and how wonderful you feel with these new sensations and motivations, so that you can live a life of much less stress, deeper and better sleep, abundance in all forms, including money, good health, and keeping or attracting your soulmate. I want to thank you so much for being here with us in our meditation. If you can, please join us in a minute for our regular celebration service with the Reverend Scott Olson, our senior minister. This is Master Sio, thanking you once again.
Thank you, Master CEO. Master CEO let me know that he is got a paying gig now on Sundays. And so he will not be joining us on Sundays for meditation anymore. And I want to tell you that Master CEO's role here at Ahiah has played a huge part. He has been doing this Sunday meditation for over 2 years. And I think over those 2 years, he may have missed maybe 2 or 3 altogether. And so, Master CEO, I want to say thank you so, so much for everything that you've brought to Ahiah. And I will be chatting with you this week. We would love to have something to kind of commemorate you and to wish you well on your journey forward. Master CEO has also let me know that when he can come back to Ahiah, he will. And so we can expect to see him every once in a while here at Ahiah doing this morning meditation, which has definitely overall raised all of our frequencies and raised all of our immunity in a time that it was so important. It was so, so important, this time of the pandemic. And so as we move through this phase and we move through this final phase of the pandemic, and as Ahiah starts to talk about how to come back together in person, we'll change formats for our meditation in the morning. And I will let you know more about that next week as we decide exactly what we're going to do. But I think it'll be a guided meditation similar to what we've done in the past. And we might start it at 10. We used to do 10:40, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. So we might go back to that kind of a 10:40 format. So anyway, thank you, Master CEO. Thank you for all your support. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, in supporting this ministry in the way that you have. And so I would like to ask those of you who have tuned in to Master CEO's meditation, if you would be willing to support Master CEO, maybe give him a fond farewell with a donation to Ahiah. And you can do that one of 3 ways. You can do it, it's showing on your screen. You can either go to ahiah.com/donate, and you have a couple choices there. Or you can text to give at 616-229-2225. Or you can always send a check here at Ahiah to 150 North El Molino Avenue, Pasadena, California, 91101. However you do that, I want to say thank you so much to your donations, knowing absolutely that they go to support Ahiah in all that we do. And I'm glad that you're here. So, Chris, you want to do a little bit of music and we'll come back in a minute and a half or something? 10 seconds. Oh, thank you, Chris. And good morning to everyone, or as Reverend Mike would say, God morning to you. And we are here, it's the middle of March, can you believe it already? And we're here to celebrate this rush into spring that's coming in another week. And I hope that you're all awake. I know that I'm a little bit foggy in the brain. I don't know about you guys and you guys out there. But I'm a little bit foggy. Thank God, telephones go switch their time automatically, so it woke me up on the right time anyway. But we are springing forward by an hour, and so let's see if you're catching this at the next hour. You'll get to see it recorded, I guess. So anyway, I want to say thank you so much. It's so good to have you here. Now, today, I just want to give a few acknowledgments to the folks that are here helping to make sure this service goes forward. And first and foremost, we have a great music today. We've got Connie Rouse in the house, as Reverend Mike says. And we have Stefana Dadas with her. And then for our band, we have Chris Glick, our music director, Brian on the drums, and Leon on the bass. And so let's just give them a hand. And then for the people helping us put this show on today, we got Gloria on the sound. So you would be just watching us clap otherwise. And we've got Harris back there on the computer running everything. And we have this show going out on several platforms. Harris is doing the Facebook. We've got Mindy Morrison, our president of the board, for another 2 weeks. Thank you, Mindy. And she's doing our Zoom platform. And Peter Bedard is doing our YouTube platform. So let's say thank you to our moderators. Oh, and today, Chris is doing double duty. He is also our practitioner for our reading and our invocation, which is going to happen in just a moment. So thank you again for that, Chris. And so now let's go ahead. We got a great Sunday celebration going, got a lot of things going on. So let's go ahead and start. And we can start by just taking a deep breath in and letting it all go. And I'm doing that because we're going to start out with a beautiful meditation video followed by Chris's invocation, and he's going to do a special singing reading for us today. So we'll do that. And I have turned my phone back on. Thank you.
There's a hero. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know melts away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fear aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. It's a long road when you face this war alone. No one reaches out a hand for you to hold. and the emptiness you feel will disappear. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fear aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. Oh, Lord knows dreams are hard to follow, but don't let anyone stand in the way. Just hold on, there will be tomorrow. In time, you'll find a way. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fear aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. A hero.
Good morning, Ahiah. It's really wonderful to be here today. All of my beloveds and all of the people that under my breath are hearing me. Today, I just want to say a couple things, and I'm going to do a song today. And the first thing I want to say is something that we know, and we think this a lot, and we say this: God is. And just say that, feel it in your mind. God is. And then I am. And you are. So if you say, I am, you are connecting the same energy that God is. And it's in this moment, Master CEO mentioned the moment that we're in. And this is the moment. And a few years ago, I wrote a song, and I titled it In This Moment. And today I'd like to do that for you. So go deep within, and I think the highs are a little ringing, but we'll fix that. And deep down in your soul, just know that this is the moment that you're in, I'm in, we're in together. We share this moment. It's the only moment. I am one with spirit. Love is in my heart right now. I don't have to direct it. I just let God show me how. In this moment, I am at peace. I know that God is everywhere I go. In this moment, I feel a glow. In this moment, I just let go. Spirit guides me in my daily life. Peace is in my soul right now. No one can take this away. God is blessing me this day. In this moment, I am at peace. I know that God is everywhere I go. In this moment, I feel a glow. In this moment, I just let go. In this moment, I am at peace. I know that God is everywhere I go. In this moment, I feel a glow. In this moment, I just let go. And just stay in this place of deep connection with Spirit. And as we go into prayer today, I know that God is all there is, truly. And I know that I am. And you are. And together, we are connected in the divine mind. The one, the only presence. And I give thanks, just grateful thanks for all of us together here today, especially for our senior minister, Reverend Scott Olson, Reverend Michael Bernard Lattimore, and all of the practitioners that are here with us today. And I know that the service today is blessed. I know that there is only perfection. I know that it is all the joy and love that we share in this moment as we share the presence of Spirit. And knowing this is the truth, I just release this word. Let God. And together we just say, and so it is. Amen.
Amen and amen. Ooh, we got a little bit of feedback going on. There we go. All right. So I'd like to go ahead and ask our singers to come on up. We have Connie Rouse and Stefana Dadas. And Harris is going to change our camera back to them. So we'll just be 1 second. Thank you, Chris, so much for that. I always love that piano along with the meditative process. So I'm looking forward to us doing that again as we come back and do something different with our meditation in the morning. Yeah. Okay, so are we a go, Harris? 1 second. There we go. All right. And take it away.
Good morning, Ahiah. Lovely, lovely, lovely to be here with you. Happy Sunday. I have my precious friend Stefana here with me. I'm truly grateful for every Sunday that she can join me, and certainly truly grateful for the opportunity to be here with you, for the times that you allow us to share these Sundays with you. We'd like to do this song about being open to possibilities and being open to the good in your life and the God in your life. To see the world with a cynic's view. I thought the winning game was only relegated to the lucky few. But now I know if you choose, happiness will come to you. So I'm making more room for God. I ran around in circles, so unaware, caught up in a mindset, struggling just to get my share. But now with eyes wide open, I see abundance everywhere. And so I'm making more room for God. That's right. So I've opened up my heart, I'm lifting up my thoughts and breaking down the walls that surround my mind. Something amazing is happening right now. Right now, I'm making more room for God. That's right. Making more room. I never could imagine it could be the case. The years of pain and heartache have all now been erased. Now I know the meaning of amazing grace. And so I'm making more room for God. Standing at the crossroads, I've never felt so strong. When love has changed your life, you wanna pass it on. Keep growing in God, and you can't go wrong. Let's start making more room for God. So let's open up our hearts, keep lifting up our thoughts, and breaking down the walls that surround our minds. Something amazing is happening right now. Right now, I'm making more room for God. Oh yeah, I'm making more room for God. Oh yes, I am. I'm making more room for God. Open your mind. I'm making more room for God. Oh yeah, I'm making more room for God.
Yes, yes. Oh, thank you, Connie. Making more room for God. The lyrics of that song are a story in and of itself. You can just use that as your own talk material, I guess. So that follows along with our theme of open possibilities. It's the theme for March. We can make more room for God. We can open up the possibilities. You know, I want to start with that thought of opening to the possibilities by going back to something Ernest Holmes, the founder of this philosophy, said. He says, "There is no limit to the good which is mine." So when we ask that question, how much good can I have? The answer is all of it. That's the truth. All of it is ours already. We just have to accept it. And so we open ourselves to this possibility of an infinite universe all being supplied to us. Last week, the talk title was Living in the Question, a High Idea. And I told you last week that we live in the question as Spirit creates out of the infinite. And so as we live in that question, as we just move through the question of our life, just what is open for me? What is the grandest divine idea for my life? As I'm open to that question and open to the possibility of the infinite moving in through my lives, then we get to go with that. Nancy Thompson is one of our practitioners here at Ahiah, and we are so blessed. You know, for the size of our community, we have 10 practitioners, and 4 of them are emeritus. And what that means is that 4 of them have been practitioners for at least 20 years. And so we're very blessed in the depth of our practitioner body. And one of the things that Nancy Thompson says when she prays often is she says that God is plotting our good, just plotting our good as we walk through our lives. And so that's another way of looking at it, is we can open ourselves to the infinite possibilities that are around, knowing that we are supported by this life, by this power, this presence that we call Spirit or God, knowing that it is plotting our good. Now, you know, while it is plotting our good, what is it that we are supposed to be doing? Well, Nancy, we had a practitioner meeting yesterday, and she supplied me with the answer for that. She said that us, these students of this philosophy that we all are, you know, that there's a habit that we have, that we are presented with 2 doors, and on one door it says lectures on heaven, and on the other door it says heaven. And so often we choose to go through the door that says lectures on heaven rather than going through the door that says heaven. And we just need to change that attitude. We don't need any more lectures on heaven, really, although I'm thankful you're here today. But the truth is we are infinitely supported in just walking through that door called heaven. That's all we need to do. Just say yes. Just like Spirit says yes to us, we can say yes to Spirit and just walk through that door marked heaven. So if we're open to those possibilities, we get to choose the right door. And so I'm going to go ahead and ask our new ministerial intern, Audra Nicole. She's been here a couple of times already, and she's going to be joining us a couple times a month for the next few months. And so I'm very thankful for that. let's turn it over to her and she'll tell us a little bit about what she knows about being open to possibilities.
Good morning, Ahiah family. Audra Nicole here, checking in for this morning's Power Talk. I am so excited to be with y'all this morning. Here we are in the beautiful month of March, talking about being open to possibilities, which is one of my favorite topics of all time. I was really connected with this thing called being a possibilitarian a couple years ago. I'm not a possibilitarian anymore. I don't use the word as often, but I am certainly one that tries my best to stay open to possibilities at all times. This week, we are talking specifically about releasing and letting go. I was extra excited to get to speak to y'all today about this topic. Excuse my itchy eye there. That's not, oh well, that just happened. I am excited to talk about releasing and letting go because I just had a extremely profound experience with this that absolutely changed my life. I really love the way Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith puts it when he said, 100% of spiritual growth is in the letting go, releasing and letting go of ideas, beliefs, and attachments that no longer serve to create an openness and a spaciousness. It removes obstacles and impediments in the way of living our vision. Releasing and embracing are where our work lies when it comes to manifesting our life's vision. Last year, like so many of us, COVID changed things. It changed our world. It rocked our world. It rocked mine. By the time May came around, there were a lot of things I didn't know. There were a lot of questions I couldn't answer. I didn't know a lot about what was happening with me internally, but I knew that I wasn't okay. Fortunately, I have amazing friends, and I jumped on a prayer call with a dear friend. And from that call, it came out. I said, I'm not okay. I don't know what's wrong. I'm not okay. We jumped off the phone call and we journaled and we prayed. What I journaled about that day blew my mind. I didn't know what I was going to journal about. I just knew that I had all of this emotion, this stuckness inside of me. I didn't know what to do with. So I grabbed a pen and a paper and I started writing. By the time I was done writing, I'd written 5 pages. I was so connected to spirit and source and just channeling this information that, honest to goodness, I couldn't have told you what was on those 5 pages before I read them myself. Turns out, after I read them, 5 pages worth of reasons why I was miserable in San Diego. Miserable in San Diego, paradise. Who could be miserable in paradise? Apparently I could. What was even more intriguing was that this journaling spoke to ways that my soul was calling to Los Angeles, which was strange to me. I had left LA a while ago. But it was calling for a greaterness, an expansiveness, a more hustle and bustle business, more people that were willing to do big things and big ideas. Spirit said, move to LA. So I called a friend and I had an opportunity to move to LA for a couple months. Now, in a global pandemic and uncertain times, it's kind of crazy to pack up and move somewhere that you only know you can be for 2 months. But I knew in my heart of hearts, because Spirit said, just get to LA, and I promise you, before it's time to go, you'll know where to go next. And Spirit wasn't wrong. Before it was time to leave LA, I had an opportunity to go to Oregon for a month, a place I'd never been, to be with family I hadn't seen in a long time. For a month, but what am I going to do when that month is over? Spirit said, don't worry. I'll tell you before it's time to go. That went on and on for a good 6 months before I landed here in Denver, Colorado. Since landing in Denver, Colorado, my business has exploded. Life has gotten very good. But more importantly, my soul is calmer in ways that I had missed for, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, maybe longer. So today, as we talk more about releasing and letting go, I encourage you to listen to your soul's call for what is time to be released, what is ready to be let go of, and see what adventures await you. I love you, spiritual family, and I will see you all very soon. Happy Sunday. Oh, and happy daylight savings.
Oh, thank you, Audra. That's wonderful. It's so nice to hear these stories of our lives as we move through them and move through recognizing that Spirit is guiding us as we're open to the possibilities. So, as Audra said, the talk title for this week is Release and Let God. Release and Let God. And I want to start with this idea of there are many ways in our lives where our lives are kind of like a dream. You know, it has a dreamlike quality. And there's a saying in the Talmud, and the Talmud is a book out of the Jewish faith that explains to you, in the Jewish faith, there are a lot of rules. You know, you have to do this and you have to do that. And the Talmud is a set of books that go and tell you, you know, a lot about that. So we're all recognize the 10 Commandments. And so let's say, how do you honor thy mother and father? Well, the Talmud would have thoughts about that in there that would talk about that. And one of the things that's in the Talmud that's showing on your screen right now is the dream not interpreted is like a letter from God not read. The dream not interpreted is like a letter from God not read. And so we recognize kind of in our lives this dreamlike quality, and sometimes in our lives, the way that life shows up is it's kind of foggy. You know, we get up and you know that quality in dreams where you get up and you know you've had a dream, but you don't really remember what it was? Sometimes our life can be like that. It can have this quality of, you know, what did I have for breakfast? I don't remember. It was 5 minutes ago. And, you know, we can get into that aspect of our lives like that, or we can live from an interpreted dream life. Also like an interpreted life itself. So just living in the possibilities is not enough. We have to interpret them. We have to let them process in us. So last week, we talked a little bit about visioning and how we let Spirit in through our intuition. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but those impressions that we get, they're like a dream and they have meaning. And we need to interpret those as we move through our lives. Interpret the vision. Audra Nicole's talk was a great one about listening to Spirit and allowing it to guide us. I try and do that every day, all the time. I try and have my antenna up so I can listen to Spirit. One of the things that we are asked to do in the visioning process is we're asked, what do we need to release in order to bring about or allow to happen that grandest divine idea that we're visioning for? And Michael Beckwith, tells us, and Audra Nicole mentioned that, it's all about the releasing. Our moving forward is all about the releasing. Because as we release the past and the way we've been, then we get to move forward in a new way. We get to allow Spirit to fill our lives with new possibilities. So the question then is, how do we release? How do we go about doing that? And I have a phrase I want to give you. We have to live in the liminality. Live in the liminality. Do you guys know what that word is? I didn't know what it was until I looked it up. But the liminality is a great word, and it has a root in Latin of limen, L-I-M-E-N, which means threshold. So when we live in the liminality, what they're talking about is they're talking about living in the threshold, living between two states. And so, I do recognize the word from subliminal, right? It has the same root as subliminal. And that was, they used to worry about subliminal advertising because, they were worried that movie theaters would be showing you, we in current video, it's 30 frames per second. And so the idea is that maybe they would just throw 1 or 2 frames of popcorn up there on the screen so fast that you can't recognize it consciously, but you see it subconsciously and you'd end up going and buying popcorn, right? That's the idea of subliminal. It means below the level of that threshold of consciousness. But what I'm talking about today is more along the lines of a rite of passage. And they talk about in a rite of passage, you're in the liminal state because when you walked into this rite of passage, you were one type of person. You were this person. And when you get done with the rite of passage, you're somebody new, somebody different. And so while you're in the rite of passage, you're somewhere in the between. You're on that threshold. So you can imagine yourself at your wedding, let's say. And before you started and you walked down that aisle and you're in front of the minister, and now you're in the middle of this rite of passage. And you've let go of that single life that was the truth of you before. And once you say I do and you get to kiss your partner, now you're going to be in married life and you're going to be titled as married. And so you need to have let go single in order to embrace married. And if you don't, well, that's probably going to be a pretty short marriage, don't you think? But that's an issue for us oftentimes, is we don't actually let go of what we were. And that's what we mean by release. We need to release, we need to let go, we need to let God move us through into this new yet to be, into who we're becoming. We need to get past the threshold and really have left the baggage behind us as we step into the new way of being. So I want to tell you, this month is Women's History Month, and I want to tell you the story of a lady, and she's on the screen right now, and her name is Beulah May Donald. And Beulah May, I was watching, it's one of these things of listening to spirit as you're kind of going along, and I was watching CNN the other day, and they had this little advertisement. They were going to have this biopic on Beulah May Donald, and I was like, who? I don't know that name. And so I decided to look her up because Spirit was like, Women's History Month. Maybe this is who you want to talk about. And so I went and I read up about her, and I read a story that was published in the New York Times magazine November 1st, 1987. So it's been a while, right, since she was in the news. And her story starts actually a week from now, 40 years ago. So on March, what would that be? March 22nd, 1981, she woke up at 2 a.m. out of a bad dream. And the dream, she dreamt of a coffin in her living room. And in the dream, she went to go look at who was in the coffin, and all she could see was a man in a gray suit. You know how dreams are. We don't always see everything in a dream. And it surprised her and scared her so much that she woke up out of this deep sleep. And the first thing she did at 2 o'clock in the morning was she went to see, of the kids that still lived at her house, if they were in their rooms. And she went to see her youngest son, Michael, who was 19 at that day. And he wasn't in his bed. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. So she went downstairs to call one of his older brothers to see if he was over there. And he said no, that he had been there watching TV with some cousins and he had left before midnight. But he'd never made it home, obviously. She stayed up, waiting, watching. At 7 o'clock in the morning, she got a phone call from a neighbor telling her that her son had been found. And they found him hanging from a tree. And he was one of the last people in America to be lynched in that fashion. Now, Beulah May, she was a single mother. She had 7 children, and she was fiery for her children. She believed that, she believed in love and religion as far as raising her kids. She took her kids every Sunday to church, and they got there in the morning, they stayed the whole day. And she said, in this interview, she said, "I'm a strong believer. I don't know about man, but I know what God can do." And so she is here in this impossible situation. And it takes 2 years for them to find out who killed Michael and to have a trial. And in the time that they're doing all this investigations, the first couple of months, the police do an investigation and they say, "Oh, well, we can't figure it out." So then the FBI came in and did an investigation. And all the time, in order to keep them motivated, they were doing regular marches. And at one point, there were 8,000, 9,000 people marching in Mobile, Alabama, which is where this happened. And eventually, on the second FBI investigation, they were able to crack the case and get one of the 2 men to confess. And this man was 17 years old on that day in 1981. And his compatriot was a 26-year-old man who was the son of the second highest ranking Ku Klux Klan officer. And they were convicted because the 17-year-old confessed. And he ended up not getting life. But, if this was all the story, I wouldn't bring it here to church. But there's more to this story. Beulah May, as it often happens in these things, it was suggested. There's always these suggestions. It was suggested that maybe he was a drug dealer. Or maybe he had been in the wrong place doing something wrong. And Beulah May, she wouldn't stand for that. She knew her son, Michael. She knew he was a good young man. And so she, even after the 2 men were convicted of murder, she said that wasn't enough because there was reasons why Michael was killed that had nothing to do with those 2 young men, and it had absolutely nothing to do with her son. And so she sued. She sued the Ku Klux Klan, and in 1987, she was awarded a $7 million judgment against the Ku Klux Klan for their behavior, how that incited people to murder. And during that trial, this 17-year-old who's now 5-6 years older, he begged. He begged for her forgiveness in trial. He had been the one who confessed. He had been the one who was the star witness in this trial. And he asked for time to say a few words. And he begged for her forgiveness, and she said, and this is why I'm bringing this story to you today. She said, I do forgive you. From the day I found out who you all was, I asked God to take care of you all, and He has. Forgiveness. The truth is forgiveness is what it's all about. In all the releasing that we do, there's so much forgiveness work that we need to do. Forgiveness of others in the case of Beulah May. Sometimes it's the forgiveness of ourselves and the judgments that we've had against ourselves. But as Michael Beckwith said, that's this release. When we forgive, we release. And when we release, we get to move out into our life in a new way, unencumbered by what has happened in the past. We allow Spirit to work all of the possibilities, the infinite possibilities that are for our highest good. And so I think Beulah May is a grand lady. I think it takes courage. I think it takes so much of who we are in order to forgive what has happened around us and move on. And so I haven't seen that documentary. I'm interested in seeing it. But from what I know out of that one article, I would say Beulah May is a great example and a great person for us to honor in Women's History Month. And so I'm going to leave you with an affirmation today, and it's showing on your screen. So if you would read it along with me. The more I release, the more God I can experience. The more I release, the more God I can experience. It's a simple, easy statement for you to take out into your week. And as you take that out into your week, what I want you to remember is I want you to remember this life that we live, this dream of a life that we live. And to interpret it like we interpret visioning. So often, I told you last week about this idea of a vision where we were coming together for Ahiah and Spirit Uncensored and how we were supposed to be together. Well, one of the things that we said there was a number of us came up with the color yellow or yellow gold. And so, the way to move through your day in that way of being open to the possibilities is to go, as I'm walking through my day, where am I seeing yellow? Where am I seeing kind of a goldish yellow? How would that fit in with this new way of Ahiah and Spirit Uncensored collaborating? And so in your week, whatever you hear from Spirit, whether it's yellow gold in color or, watch this, look at this lady, Beulah May Donald. Whatever it is, go for that. Go with that. And then last of all, just forgive and let God, because that's really where the power is. And if you're not quite sure how to do that, as I always say, just let God guide you. Thank you, and namaste. And so now let's just anchor this in with a little bit of prayer. Oh, I'm just opening myself up to the divine. This life, this power, this presence, which is always here. I can feel the heartbeat of the universe right here, right now. I'm recognizing this life is all the life that there is. It's not God and anything. It's only God. It's only this one life moving through our lives and as our lives with ease and with grace. It's only God knowing itself as us and through us. And so we lie open to the possibility because we are the possibility. We are the life that God is moving through us and as us with ease, with grace, with joy, with love. And that plays out in our lives in so many wonderful ways. It plays out with our aha moments, these realizations that we have that just tell us how to move forward in a new way. Maybe it's Audra Nicole's path to Colorado, the whispering. Or maybe it's the feeling of this love that God is as the truth of us, the acceptance, the givingness that God is everywhere present. Or maybe it's the joy that God is filling our lives in this moment, to fill and overflowing with the joy of just being alive. Kelly, one of our practitioners, told me this week, she said, as I step into this new decade, a new decade of life, to know that every decade is better than the last. And that's such a great way of living our lives. And so I embrace that in this moment. I recognize that truth for each and every one of us, that our life going forward is better than the life that was back there. That I let go of the attachments to that life so that I can move forward in even grander splendor, in even more knowingness of the divine. And for knowing this to be the truth of my life and your life and all life, I just give thanks. And I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. And so now is the time for our conscious contributions. And so I know so many of you have already given online or with a check. And so I want to say thank you so much for all that you give. If you haven't given yet, we have a slide up on the screen right now that gives you 3 different ways of giving. The first is to go to ahiah.com/donate. And that will set you up for online giving. You can even do it in a recurring fashion. You can set it for weekly or monthly or however you want to set it up. Or you can text to give. And you text to give whatever amount you put in the text, and you text it to 616-229-2225. And it will ask you all the questions. It'll give you a link and ask you the questions if it's your first time. And then last of all, we love to get checks. Thank you so much for all the birthday notes that came in this last week. I appreciate those so much. And if you want to send that check in, you just send it to Ahiah at 150 North El Molino Avenue, Pasadena, California, 91101. However you do that, I want to say thank you. And go ahead and take your virtual gift and place it at your heart. And let's say our blessing together. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen. And so now I want to go ahead and ask Connie and Stefana to come on back up. This song that they're going to sing you right now, I was enjoying it so much in rehearsal. So I'll let you guys enjoy it now.
Thank you so much, Reverend Scott. I love that affirmation. The more I release, the more I can experience God. Hold on to that as we do this next song. Hey, oh, hey, 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 hey. Yeah, I'm taking my freedom, pulling it off the shelf, putting it on my chain, wearing it round my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car, wherever I choose to go. It will take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden, golden. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my song, moving loud and strong, singing all day long. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my stroll. I'll be high-stepping, y'all, letting the joy unfold. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 like it's important, like it matters. Yeah, hey, 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 golden, golden. I'm holding on to my freedom, can't take it from me. I was born into it, it comes naturally. I'm holding on to my freedom, playing the God in me, represent God's glory. I know God knows all of me. I know it, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and show it. Living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, like it's important, like it's special, it's a blessing. Hey, living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. Living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. Oh, I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden.
Yes, we are. Living our life like it's golden. It's a great reminder that that is always, always the truth of our lives, that that is always the way we should be living our lives. So we have a couple of quick announcements. The first of them is that we are coming up on our annual meeting. It's 2 weeks from today, the 28th of March. And I want to tell you that we have two candidates, two people applied for our positions, open positions for the board, and we have two positions open, two people who applied, and they're the perfect people in my estimation. They are Jackie Owens and Lake Payne, yes. And so let's say thank you to them. at the they've been approved by the nominating committee. They've been approved by the board, and so the next step is to get the members to vote, and we can do that at the annual meeting. So the annual meeting, it will be right after service, should start about 12:15-ish, and but you can tune in anytime. In fact, if you want to start with the Zoom to begin with for the service that day, then you can just go right directly into the annual meeting. You don't have to do anything. That's just one thought. But however you get there, whenever you get there, we will love to have you there. You do not have to be a member to attend. You do have to be a member to vote. The only thing we're voting on this time around that I know of, unless something comes up at the meeting, is the board members. But we will be giving you lots of information about where we've been, where are we headed. We have, really good news. Things have been going very well for us financially at Ahiah, and we're going to tell you that story at the meeting. I won't spoil it now, but we do have some good news along that front. And we'll also be talking. I want to have a discussion at the annual meeting about what does it look like for us to come back here at Ahiah live. What are we comfortable with? When are we comfortable with doing that? How do we show up? All of those things are up for discussion at the annual meeting. So please, 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 whether you're a member or not, doesn't matter, just show up. I would love to hear your voice. And then I want to remind us all that we have a bunch of wonderful practitioners. We've got a slide that shows their pictures, and if you go to the website that's there, it'll take you to their contact information. I want to remind you that we have a wonderful ministry of prayer. If you go to ahiah.com/prayers, you can put in a request for prayers, and our practitioners will pray for you. And I will pray for you. And it's confidential request. It comes to me, and I only send it out to our practitioners. So love to have you there. We also have Monday through Saturday, we have prayer and conversation supported by one of our practitioners every morning. It's a great place to connect into the Ahiah community, and it's a great place to get prayer. So we'd love to have you there for that. And if you need a quick lift throughout the week, we have Dial a Prayer. And you can reach that on our website, or you can go and dial into our main telephone number and hit option 6, and you'll hear a few minutes of a reading and a prayer, and it's just wonderful. It's a great pick-me-up. So with that, we've got one more announcement, and then I'll be back in just a moment.
Good morning and God morning, Ahiah family. This is Reverend Karen Frost inviting you to an extra special Spirit Uncensored event featuring Ahiah's own Harris Silcott. In honor of Mixed Race Heritage Month, Harris and I will be discussing our experience of being mixed race in America. We'll be joined by Ashley Hippolyte and Sydney Seligman. All are welcome to listen or participate in the conversation. This Sunday Night Live event is today at 5 p.m. Pacific. The Zoom link can be found on the spirituncensored.org/events website. We will also be streaming on the Spirit Uncensored Facebook page. Hope to see you there.
Hello, Ahiah. Hi, everybody. My name is Peter Bedard. I'm a practitioner here at the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living. I love you guys. I wanted to invite all of you to come to our Ahiah Writers Group. It is the second Sunday of every month from 1 o'clock to about 3 o'clock. And we meet online in our Zoom family room. And you don't have to do anything. Just show up. If you're interested in writing anything from poetry to lyrics to fiction or nonfiction, whatever it is, this is your place to actually be inspired and come write with us. Think of it like taking a yoga class. You don't need to be prepared to take the yoga class. You just have to show up. So bring your creative mind, bring your ideas, and come and join us this Sunday from 1 to 3 after the service and after the fellowship. We love to see you. All right. Love you guys. Thanks so much. See you soon.
And thank you, Reverend Karen and Peter. So for Peter's event, you can get there by going to ahiah.com/virtual and clicking on the Go to Zoom link, and that's at 1 o'clock. To get to Reverend Karen's event, you can go to our the same page. We've got a graphic of hers up there, and it's got a link for going to her Zoom account, or to, actually, I think it's Instagram. So however you do that, feel free to join them. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and do our benediction. And it's on the screen for you right now. If you want to read along with me, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it, and I share it, just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. And so now I'd like to invite you to go or stick around on Zoom if you're on Zoom, or go to Zoom if you're on one of the other services live streaming with us. And we would love to have a little bit of fellowship with you. I'll be there in about 10 minutes as I wind down this service and I get onto Zoom. And you can get there by going to ahiah.com/virtual and hitting the Go to Zoom button. So it's been a great week, and today was wonderful. I want to say thank you to our music, and Harris and Gloria. Thank you to everybody that's supporting us here, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you, and namaste.